of all effective rates, not just data but voice, to ensure that no telco would price above what is permitted or what has been approved by the regulator. When they do the test and it is found that any of the regulators, any of the operators is charging beyond the approved rate, there'll be sanctions for it. And trust me, we will come down hard on that. But so far, in the 4 months I've engaged with the CEOs, I'm sure and confident that they will not act in a manner that is arbitrary and without recourse to the regulator. I have not done this unilaterally. And that's why for those who have always said, just announce, I'm glad today you have all the 3 CEOs here. And we will not have an instance where you will see people either go to court to challenge the directive or go to the electronic tribunal. But we have worked together to get to this point. And that's the value of consultation. They say the patient dog, it's the fattest bone. And once again, I extend my gratitude to the CEOs for the work they have done over the last 4 months with me to get to this place. It's not the end of the journey. There's still a lot more we will do. Minister, I established a 23-member data pricing review committee with a clear 14-day mandate to develop a roadmap for implementation. The committee, in its report, distinguished the 3 areas that we believe need to be addressed for a holistic resolution of the matter: value, pricing, and quality. I referred the report to the regulator and tasked them with crafting regulatory policies that address the challenges in the sector. In my 2nd month, the regulator, after engaging with the mobile network operators, came up with proposals that curated specialized bundle solutions for tertiary students and content creators. We immediately set out to build a dynamic database for the 2 demographics. I held a meeting with all vice chancellors in the country to design a framework that allowed the networks to identify which numbers were used by tertiary students. However, I took a policy decision to truncate the process and re-engage the stakeholders to achieve a broader solution that affected all Ghanaian data users. In my 3rd month, this engagement led to a focus on the structural challenges that the networks were facing in delivering their services. As indicated earlier, we had our eyes not just on the value and pricing of data bundles, but on the quality of service delivery. I am sure that even with increased value or reduced pricing, if quality is not improved, we will still have a sour customer experience. This next brings, when the Finance Ministry takes action on the tax handles in the sector, I'm continuing my engagement with the Honorable Finance Minister to get his approval for the rationalization of some components in the tax buildup in the sector. If we are able to have a proper rationalization of the taxes, we should see a drop in the almost 39% tax buildup in the price of data in the country. If that drops, we would insist that the telcos pass that on to their customers. Another area I am vigorously pursuing is with the Minister of Energy and Green Transitions and the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission. If we are granted a telecom tariff for the sector, it will lead to further price drops for offerings currently available. Because until they give us a telecom tariff, as the mining sector has, the cost of delivering the service will continue to be inhibited. I remain committed to delivering on the mandate of the ministry as entrusted into my care by His Excellency the President. I will continue to engage robustly with stakeholders in the sector to protect their investments in Ghana and make Ghana a friendly destination for investment. But I encourage them to invest more. Ultimately, my heart is with the people of Ghana. I will serve you with heart, with sweat, and with blood. And we will fix the mess that I have inherited in this ministry. So help me. I'll be willing and glad to take those questions. I'll take them in batches of 3. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Minister.
Good afternoon.
I want more clarity on the prices for the data packages for Telecel. I don't know whether I heard you correctly, but you said the 400 series one is presently at 90 gig.
190. It's currently at 190 gig, and now they will offer 250 gig for the same price.
Will it not come at a cost to them?
Well, that's why I have not done this unilaterally. And that's why for those who have always said, just announce, just announce. I'm glad today you have all the 3 CEOs here. And we will not have an instance where you will see people either go to court to challenge the directive or go to the electronic tribunal. But we have worked together to get to this point. And that's the value of consultation. They say the patient dog, it's the fattest bone. And once again, I extend my gratitude to the CEOs for the work they have done over the last 4 months with me to get to this place. It's not the end of the journey. There's still a lot more we will do together for the Ghanaian people to make their businesses profitable, but to make data accessible and affordable for the Ghanaian people. So yes, it will come at cost to them, but they also know that they have a responsibility to the Ghanaian people.
Yes, a follow-up. I mean, this one is a good idea, but there's a problem of poor network. Poor network, because you have 1,000 gig, but if you don't have good network, you cannot use it. Telecel, for instance, which I believe government has shares in it, their network is quite bad. Very bad. I entered this building, I tried, I sent it to the internet, and I was shocked. In the building of the communication ministry, and there's no good network.
Well, that's why I just addressed in my address. I spoke specifically to the Telecel intervention that we're making. Apart from the fact that we've offered both Telecel and, maybe because I use their official names, Ghana Telecommunication and Scancom. Scancom is MTN. Ghana Telecommunication is Telecel. We've offered them spectrum. Now, just so that we appreciate what it is, the ability to give you quality of service, the ability for you to be able to stream your data or your videos without them buffering, depends on the amount of bandwidth and spectrum, and the amount of bandwidth, and that also depends on the amount of spectrum that the telecom companies have. I know that both companies, including even AT, have been asking for spectrum for the last 4 years. They've not gotten it. But that's why I said it comes back to diagnosing what the problems are and fixing them. And that's why we're offering spectrum to MTN, we're offering spectrum to Telecel, and both companies, as a sign of their commitment to improving quality of service, have agreed to buy the spectrum that we're offering to them. Spectrum is also not very cheap, I must be honest about that. It's pretty expensive, you know, but they are paying for the spectrum. Once we complete the deal by the first week of July, that will give them additional spectrum and bandwidth that they can then use to improve the quality of the network. Again, it is not a switch that gets turned on immediately they get the spectrum. They need to do investment in their network, they need to bring in new transmitters, they need to bring in new switches, they need to do configuration, and that's why we've given them a quarter, 3 months. So if you listen again in my speech, I spoke about the fact that we're giving them spectrum by end of July, first week of July, we expect that to be done, but we expect them to complete it by the deployment of that spectrum by end of Q3, which is September, July to September. And I've asked the regulator to immediately begin testing for the improvement in the quality of service in Q4, which is October to December. So yes, we will see, but again, in the specific case of Telecel, I again in my speech stated that I had given them approval, I had given the regulator approval this week for them to give them so that they can begin to offer improved services using the 2100 megahertz spectrum band that's held by NGIC. That again is policy direction we're giving to allow them be able to get access immediately to some spectrum that can improve their quality of service. But let me not mince words. 2 weeks ago, I had a meeting in this room with the CEOs and showed the quality of the network and the status of the infrastructure. By end of Q4, the NCA will bring us the quality of service report. We would again show it to the country. Would, for example, result in a pricing increase. So it was not a price directive, it was a policy directive that affects pricing. Another example will be the decision to declare MTN as an SMP and implement tariff rationalization, which resulted in an effective price increase by the operator, which the customers bought later, to grant a connecting entity license, enabling the operator to optimize service using the 2100 megahertz spectrum at the disposal of NGIC. This should be of all effective rates, not just data but voice, to ensure that no telco would price above what is permitted or what has been approved by the regulator. When they do the test and it is found that any of the regulators, any of the operators is charging beyond the approved rate, there'll be sanctions for it. And trust me, we will come down hard on that. But so far, in the 4 months I've engaged with the CEOs, I'm sure and confident that they will not act in a manner that is arbitrary and without recourse to the regulator. Any other questions, please? Well, ladies and gentlemen, if there are no further questions, I want to thank you, our brothers and sisters from the media, the CEOs, directors, chief director, the ministry, CEOs, the regulator. Thank you very much. God bless you.